Hi everyone and welcome to a new episode of Miriam Talks About Things. Now, as you can see by the title, this is quite a special episode, I guess, because I'm doing a tag, and that is the Booktubers I Love Tag. And that's quite fitting because I've been meaning to do a shout out episode for quite some time now, but it's always so difficult for me to put those together because you sort of feel like you are always leaving someone out, which is definitely also how I'm feeling about this tag. But it does help to have some questions to guide you through. So I was really happy to see that Sophie over at Redhead Reading was kind enough to include me in her version of this tag. So I will be linking that one in the description box, as well as the original take or tag as well in the description, alongside everyone I'm mentioning here. So again, quite simple, some questions you recommend or answer with booktubers you like watching. Now, the first one is, who was the first booktuber you subscribed to? Now, for me, I actually started watching booktube on the German speaking side of booktube, which I no longer watch for various reasons. But on the English side, it was quite hard for me to determine who was first, actually. So I picked 3 people who were among the first I have subscribed to. The first one is Chelsea over at chelseadolling Reads, and you heard me talk about Chelsea quite a lot in the past few episodes, simply because she has just been such a big source of happiness, I guess, especially lately, both with her content but also her recommendations. Spoiler alert for the next episode, I guess. My first favorite read of the year and a new all-time favorite was also a favorite of hers last year, so that's exciting. And again, she's just such a source of happiness and warmth for me, and her book recommendations really work well for me, and I have picked up a lot of books she recommended lately, so that's always great. And honestly, I don't know what my booktube experience would look like without her in the picture. So again, if you don't know her, which I don't know why you wouldn't, again, alongside everyone else, she will be linked in the description. The next channel is April over at Aprilius Maximus. And again, with her, it's just a feeling of consistency and that warmth you feel when someone is consistently sort of along in your journey. And I feel like that's definitely the case for April. I really enjoyed watching her from the very start, and I still do, and it still gives me that same feeling of being just welcomed in her space, and also having great recommendations, but also having a glimpse into her life and that very raw and open version of someone, which I really appreciate. I don't think she is someone who puts on a personality for the camera. She is just who she is, which goes along with the third person, and that is Whitney over at Whitty Novels. Whitney and I have a very special journey, I guess, because again, she was one of the first people I've watched, and through her learning German, we also got closer together as friends, which was very interesting, very intense, very much helped us, I feel like, both grow through that experience. And I just really appreciate her and her channel and just her as a person to be in my life, and I appreciate what that made me learn throughout this journey on booktube, but also personally. So yeah, those are the 3 people. And on the other hand, we have question 2 that asks, who was the most recent booktubers you subscribed to? Now, for me, I don't really subscribe to a lot of booktuber. I used to, and that gave me a lot of anxiety. being all caught up with watching, but also creating and also reading. So I really cut it down, but I'm still watching more people than I'm subscribed to. The people I am subscribed to are basically just the ones I really want to watch every single video by. But the most recent one I've subscribed to is Aimee over at Aimee Reads. And with her videos, something just really clicked, both with her personality, the way she talks, but also her reading style really works well with mine. So that's why I subscribed to Aimee, and I encourage you to subscribe to her as well. Now, the third question is definitely one of the most difficult ones. And that is, name 3 booktubers you love and want to give a shout out to. There are definitely more than those 3. Everyone included in this tag, of course, but also people not included. But again, for the sake of this question, I chose 3 people. And the first one is Elizabeth over at Bookish North. With Elizabeth, it's just because I love watching her videos, because first of all, I always come out having learned something new, and also having found a book that I either have not heard before or was not aware of, or just wasn't on my mind, that I'm interested in after hearing her talk about it. And I think she has a great balance between all being very precise and very interesting in what she is saying, but also having that spice of humor that I really enjoy watching. So yeah, that's why I really like watching her, and I think she deserves a shout out. The next person I don't think needs a shout out from little small me, but I could not include her in this realm of people I love watching, and that is Melanie over at meltotheany. I was lucky enough to be one of the first people who were like from the first video on her channel, and saw her grow and become this massive force and massive source of happiness as well in our community here on Booktube. She was an active member of the bookish community before that as well. But I really enjoyed getting to know Melanie more and interacting with her more, as well as watching all her videos. I think there's something so special about her videos and her content, and there's something so very Melanie about her content, and I don't think there's anyone just like her. And I truly hope that 2020 will also help us get closer, and I would really like to get to know her better even more. And the third person I chose because she just read my favorite book of all time, or at least one of my favorites, let's put it that way, and that is Agnes. Like, the book is Agnes by Peter Stamm, and the person I'm talking about is Silje. And with Silje, she was always just there. You know, it's just that person and that feeling that, you know, you can count on no matter what. And that is definitely Silje in a nutshell, I think, for a lot of people in this community. And I appreciate her a lot. I appreciate her openness towards everything, but also especially reading. She reads a great variety of books, and I truly appreciate that. And I appreciate her curiosity and her openness towards all of the books out here. So yeah, definitely those 3 people, but a lot more. But again, well, yeah, those are just the 3 for this question. Question 4 is, if you could meet one booktuber right now, who would it be? And watching Sophie's take on that question, as soon as I saw the question, and before I was watching her video, and thought about what I would answer, I would have picked her. And funny enough, she picked me for this answer, and she said that we would go to a art gallery or an art museum. And I definitely agree. It would just be nice to have someone who understands that passion and just gosh, unapologetically, which is something that I appreciate a lot about Sophie, and having her as that person I truly feel like I can go to, both if I'm worrying about something or if I want to discuss something, but also if I just deeply love something. And I really, really appreciate that. And she also mentioned that we need to take Matthew with us over at MCS-books. And I agree wholeheartedly, simply because he is truly my best friend on here, and probably generally. He's very much the person, the one person that I strive to become more like, and also hold on to most in this community. And his friendship really, really means a lot, and I think we three will make a fantastic trio in an art gallery. So that's who I'm choosing. Question 5 is kind of exposing myself, and that is, who's your favorite YouTuber who is not a booktuber? And I don't really subscribe to many YouTuber who are not booktuber. I have some German lifestyle channels I'm watching, but basically, again, exposing myself for the massive art nerd I am. The main channels outside of booktube I'm watching are the channels of the Sotheby's art auction house. I'm sure you are aware of Sotheby's. So yeah, they create great content, and also the channel The Art Assignment does a lot of great content. So yeah, those, and also my uni's YouTube channel. I really love my university, and they also really create quite some interesting content on their channel. So there's that, I guess. Moving along to the last question, which is not really going to be any better. That is to tag 14 booktubers. I don't know if I even know that many to complete this properly. So I'm going to say that those I've mentioned previously: Chelsea, April, Whitney, Aimee, Elizabeth, Melanie, Silje. If you would like to do this tag, please do it. But in order to complete this question, I hope, let me count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, I have chosen another 7 people who I both really, really enjoy watching, and I thought you would like to watch as well. But also, I'm tagging to do this tag as well. No pressure if you don't do tags. If you don't feel like doing this tag, please don't bother. But it's just trying to be completing this tag. I'm just as nervous as Sophie is about tagging people, and it makes me incredibly uncomfortable. But again, just see them as recommendations, and if you would like to do this tag, please feel free to do so. So the first person is Rocky over at Blonde with a Book. I think I've mentioned before that I just really deeply admire Rocky for her ability to express her thoughts, and I really, as you probably can tell, would hope to be just as good with that as she is. And yeah, Rocky, she's amazing. She has just really a talent for expressing her thoughts on books, which is probably why she's going to be such an amazing writer as well. So yeah, that's her. Also Bonnie is, like, for me, alongside Whitney, the queen of reading vlogs. They always really help me with, like I told her that, especially during some rougher times, I really seek out her content during that. I go back to watch her old videos. I anticipate new ones. And again, especially her reading vlogs are prime content. Her doing Vlogmas saved my December. So yeah, her. And then someone I also recently discovered, I think firstly through Twitter and then found her channel, and that is Romie over at Books and Coffee with Romie. She's just like the queen of the aesthetic. I really love her channel aesthetic quite a lot. So if you are into that, I would highly recommend her channel. She also has some great bullet journal with me videos. But again, like, great aesthetics, and she also really has a great variety in her reading taste that I really appreciate. So yeah, highly recommend her. And I also tag her because that's the section we're in. Also a channel I really, really love, and I've been going back to watch her all the content. It's that is Jane over at It's Jane Lindsay. I especially love that Jane is someone who is also branching out in the content she creates and incorporating other things into her channel and into what she's doing on social media and stuff like that. Because again, I do consider myself a bookish related channel, but I also talk a lot about, as you know, art and art history and pop culture on here. So to see someone else do that as well is really helpful for me. So yeah, definitely check her out as well. Then Julie over at Pages and Pens. She's just really a kind individual, and she also does a really, really great reading vlogs. Very great at really letting you know her thoughts on a book. And again, she's just very, very kind, and I've also really enjoyed watching her writing journey. So yeah, really highly recommend her. Again, super, super kind person, very welcoming. And the next person is not someone I have any business in shouting out, because she just recently, I think, hit 100,000 subscribers, so I really don't have a place to shout her out, but I really, really enjoy watching her videos recently, and that is Read with Cindy. And I think Cindy is kind enough to actually care if someone tags her that is quite significantly smaller than her, which is something I appreciate about her. And she also really I really like her honesty and her openness, and I wish I could be as honest about the things I'm thinking as she is, and as unapologetic as she is about it all. But again, I also really, really enjoy what she is reading, and I think she does a great job in her wrap-ups explaining that to you, while also having that thing, that little small, it's quite a big part of humor in her videos, and of being lighthearted and just wanting to talk about books, basically. And I really love that attitude, and I appreciate that a lot, and I definitely can see why she got that many subscribers. And the next person is Cara over at WildeBookGarden. Cara and I agree a lot on a lot of things surrounding this community, especially when it comes to us really not understanding shaming other people's reading taste, or belittling some genres, as well as I deeply admire her. I mentioned that on Twitter, how she talks about books she doesn't like. I think she does it in a respectful yet very informative manner. She does that with books she likes, and likes semi-likes or whatever too, but like I really appreciate it, especially with books she dislikes. And similar to Rocky, I admire her so much for her wrap-ups and her ability to express her thoughts on books. So that is the tag. That is it for me being absolutely nervous about tagging people and forgetting someone, which probably keeps me awake this night. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this rather different episode, and I will see you or hear you in my next one. Thanks for listening, and go check those people out. Bye.